work with media, and you also have a media consultancy
Yeah.
for West. What would you say about families who are from South Asian origin, now based in the West? How are they taking, because a lot of times they also have started smaller businesses, sometimes they get together and they put a gas station or they run a restaurant, and the Asian culture, when it clashes with the American culture, you still got to, make way for the family values. Is that a tricky situation to be in?
That's an interesting discussion me and Furkan have all the time, and I look up to him for his advice in local media. So what is happening right now, you have to understand in global market space. You have major networks in the West, whether you're talking about North America or Europe, but they are making everything for everyone. They want their programs to be shown to as many people as possible so that they can make ad revenue. Right? And it is easier as well to have a mass market as compared to segmented approach. Now our channels may be a mass channel here in Pakistan, excuse me, but they are a smaller piece of pie in US, for example. We are one of the largest distributor of ethnic channels in North America. We have close to 40 international channels from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Greece, Egypt, Middle East. So what we do is we tell them that you have to either separate your feed somehow, or you create programming, one or two programming with us, with an insight from our side, so that people who are living abroad can connect with you. Things that are happening here every day may have a meaning here for a 18 crore globe, but may not have the same meaning outside of Pakistan. And understanding that media is an integral part of your child development is crucial for these channels to have in their mind when they're doing their programming.
No, that's a very interesting thing that we've sort of stumbled upon. Furkan, what would you say that in Pakistan we've had so many instances where local channels tried to run an English language beam, and it didn't work. It didn't work for Dawn, it didn't work for Express, Touchwood, we are the third, and right now the only English language channel for Pakistan. So talking about having that all-encompassing or a global reach and a global outlook, a lot of these ethnic channels from Pakistan are not making any English content or software. Whereas if I look at India, be it a yoga program or their cooking program or their bridal shows, they, of course, because it has acceptance and it has, the requirement even in India within itself is for English programming, for English content. So do you think that's an untapped territory for Pakistan?
I think the first difference that we should actually see is education, first of all. In our country, fortunately or unfortunately, I would say both sides. Unfortunately, on the major ends, people are not too educated. They are educated, but the urban side is very small. And English channel is usually an urban side. In Pakistan, it's on the urban side. It's not on the rural side. I wouldn't say I haven't seen a single viewer that who would want to go see an English channel. And launching an English channel in Pakistan, it's totally about financial feasibility. It's not feasible.
So would you not want to see a few English programs in the kind of ethnic channels that you're offering to US, but the programs need to be from Pakistan? Like for example, for the longest in the Pakistan television network, you had the English news bulletin or some English discussions, just to space it out and have your version of the story in the global language.
I think there is a big opportunity here for education as well, literacy development. When you look at different cartoons, whether it is in the Western world, you have Dora and you have other programs. They try to teach you different language in a fun way.
Right.
So for example, you can have a cartoon which is mainly Urdu or English, but trying to converse in a way that is easier for people to understand, not the American English or the British English. So maybe we can connect halfway through, but there is a definitely need of bringing in American English or any other English, right?
How does that translate into the Pakistani market, where we see a lot of dubbed software right now?
I think if we are talking about most of the Turkish stuff, it won't last longer.
It won't last. It's a trend.
It's a trend. It usually happens in our industry, in the media industry. It's been happening. A lot of things have come in, and they've actually left us after a year and a half. if you remember, there were many neighboring country dramas and channels were very much penetrating into our houses a couple of years back, and they were here for a couple of years, and suddenly they lost their viewership, and our dramas came back. It was not because of quality. It's not just because of quality. It's because we are into a trend where we follow something new, and then year and a half we're back into our own business. So this is what's going to happen. The Turkish or whatever the translations, that the dubbing that are being done, they're not long lasting. How many successes do we know? Just a single or two out of the many stuff that is.
And that too because you run them on prime time and they happen to get
yes,
the eyeballs.
on prime time, and the barriers that they don't have to follow. What we do, we have our own strict policies, the censorship policies. They don't follow that, and then you are trying to compete them with the local stuff. So they're just fantasies for a couple of years, for a year and a half, two. Not more than that. I think they'll just dissolve again, and it's almost there. Everything is back to normal. And if you see the ratings, our local dramas are very much on the top again.
True.
And that's a good thing. What I would suggest, and Furqan, it's all these new dramas that came in, they have given us a different flavor and a different technology. So if we learn from that technology and if we try to adapt accordingly, do your own production, but be open to different camera angles, for example, different kind of editing, different kind of music, different kind of shots. Then when you learn it, and mashallah, we have so many different like look at the movies. Look at the movie scene right now in Pakistan. New movies are being made.
Do you think you can convince one of these wealthy families to actually invest in a movie?
Movie is a very lucrative business, but a very long tail. Right. And still you need to have some credible data, especially in Pakistan, to show there is a return in it. But internationally, it's a very lucrative business. A lot of family offices invest into these passion projects.
Even in Pakistan, it's getting to be credible day by day. But I think for 2013, it has been a good year, and there are many families that I know who are ready to invest in a movie. I think if I go back somewhere around 5 years back or somewhere around that, when I wanted to talk to someone about making a feature film, they would laugh at it and they would want to invest some 5 crore rupees into it. But now, even if I utter a word that I'm trying to go for a feature film, they are ready for it and they're ready to invest in it.
But Pakistan is an economy of contrast. Everything that you would have world, going towards one thing, believing in a certain trend or rule, Pakistan is the opposite. For example, the movie business in Pakistan is not for the masses, but actually for the elite. You only have 20 or so screens and multiplexes in Pakistan where the average ticket would be 600 rupees. So all over the world, the movies are supposed to entertain the masses, it's supposed to be cheap recreation, but in Pakistan it's the other way around. But we'll have another show about it. We have to head on to our rapid fire round where you can't take too much time to think about it, and there could be questions or sentences and statements that you need to complete. My first statement that you've got to complete for me is, in our society, wealth is supposed to be a bad thing because
you don't share.
Because we don't.
It's not transparent. We need to have systems of transparency, and we need to share.
The best succession plan or advice that you could give to a family-owned business would be?
Communicate. Talk to your family. Talk to at least your family.
The first step that the CEO should undertake when he realizes the so-called successor, his son or his sister or his brother, is not interested in the business.
First, understand the reason why he's not interested, and maybe you can find a way to make him interested. Probably a division of the company can be created where we can have more time. Maybe he can be coerced, I would say, to work in the marketing or the creative department of the company. Maybe he's good in engineering, maybe.
So address his concerns, basically, his or her concerns, right. One thing that you've always wanted to tell Furqan.
When your producer reached out to me and he said, bring a friend with you. So I was going through the list, and while I was going through the list on my phone was constantly ringing with text messages. So when are we meeting? There are other people, so many other people. At that very moment, I realized the person who's not texting me is Furqan, is the one who's my real friend. And amidst all those texts, I picked up the phone and I called them and I said, listen, I know that I haven't spent a lot of time this time with you. There is a program that I really want you to